Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Kyoukai no Kanata episode 10. Before we get into what we're talking about this week, let's talk about last week for a minute. So last week I didn't like the episode very much. I didn't make any secret of that, and that led to some backlash, which was quite interesting, as it usually is. And some of it was fair and some of it kind of wasn't. So let's go over my concerns with the previous episode, and then the people's concerns with my concerns, and then my concerns with the concerns of the people who are concerned about my concerns, etc. My concerns with the previous episode were sort of in two categories. One was, wait a sec, that doesn't make sense. And a lot of those were not valid concerns or criticisms from me, because I forgot some shit, like Izumi showing up at the end of the thing. To just take a step back and yes, I forgot that. However, it's kind of weird that I was allowed to forget that, because we show the exact same sequence in this episode, or in episode 9, as we did at the end of episode 8, except we pull out the scene where Izumi shows up. It's not there in the intro, and so it's like it messes with my brain space. So there's one category of concerns, which is you seem like you were in a, not a good mood, and it seems like you forgot some things, and then as soon as those things occurred in the show, you turn those against the show. I think that's a valid criticism of the way that I reacted to the show, and there's definitely some well poisoning that went on once I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. However, I would like to point out that in the discussion of the previous week's episode, I went and found most of those, and finding most of those doesn't change my opinion of the episode too much. Having gone and rewatched the episode that day, that afternoon, as soon as criticism started coming in, then rewatching it again over the course of this week, and then rewatching it again this morning before starting recording, I still think that episode 9 has a whole lot of problems with it, and I don't understand why it has those problems. Namely, the entire center section of the episode, which is the emotional core of the episode, where we get all those conversations between Mirai and Sakura, and the bath scenes, and the conversation where they're all walking, it all feels extremely flat and not emotional at all. I do not attach to it, which is deeply weird in a KyoAni show for me, because usually KyoAni sells its emotional character moments like no other studio, and I think that that's a legitimate concern and gripe about the episode, as is the general structuring of everything, the jumping between multiple points of view constantly, and jumping at times where it makes it unclear what's going on in one place or another place, makes the whole episode feel disconnected and weird, and I still don't like it. That's basically all that I'm going to really say about it. I will stand by my general criticisms of the episode feeling flat and not emotionally engaging, and weirdly directed, and weirdly put together, and weirdly structured in a way that very much turns me off as a viewer. I'll also add the caveat that some people have mentioned some things, sort of, I can tell when people are doing they're like, I'm trying not to say the thing that's going on, but there's something that maybe explains this in the future sort of situation, and I'm getting the impression that there's some kind of fuckery going on in-universe via magic or Yomu stuff or something, that's causing people to forget something, or time to be weird, or similar. Some sort of situation where our narrative POV is less reliable than we think it is, but that hasn't been presented to us, so it's sort of like a thing that'll happen later where we'll be like, oh, all that stuff in the past was unreliable narration and it all makes sense now, which seems kind of weird to me, but hey, if they can pull it off later in the show, maybe I'll change my opinion. But yeah, I don't mind those comments too much when people are like, yeah, this might make sense more in the future, which gives me the impression that there's something weird going on in universe that explains the weird things that I'm seeing in medium. To make that distinction between in medium and in universe needs to happen. But I'm going to stick with my general opinion of episode 9. I think it was pretty poopy, and I don't like it very much, and I'm hoping that it sort of clarifies come the next couple of episodes, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Regardless, episode 9 consisted of a whole bunch of different battle scenes, and a lot of them looked really good. There was some great key animation going on, and I'm not going to take away from that. It's just that key animation was all happening in a story that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, at least to me. But maybe that will change, and maybe my opinion will change. We'll see. A bunch of different battles going on all over the place. We had the Izumi brother and sister pair fighting this big Yomu monster. We had some very strange sequences with Mirai and Akihito. Mirai seeing Akihito in sort of beast form and then running away with Aya-chan, and then some other stuff happening, and then we just sort of leave and go walking with a bunch of other people, and then we hang out in an apartment for a little while, and then we do some, like, take some baths and stuff and talk and stuff, and then boom, we're out somewhere else. And also Hiro Omi did some research and found out that some bad juju is bad juju, and that his sister is lying about something, and we get some solid implications that Izumi has been pulling Mirai's puppet strings this entire time, presumably in order to kill Akihito, or to, like, steal his power or something. It's kind of weird. Or to protect him from the association? I don't know. We don't know her motivations at all, which is maybe one of the problems, but maybe we'll find that out later. She seems to be one of those characters who we have to spend a little bit more time with to actually understand why they're doing what they're doing, but that's okay. And Mr. Fuckboy McFuckins, I don't remember what I was calling him. Dude bro McDickballs? I don't remember what I was calling him. It was good. It was better than that. He comes in, he steals not the Hollow Shadow. Yeah, the Hollow Shadow. He steals the Hollow Shadow gem for reasons, to become more powerful, I assume, and fights Hiromi. In the meantime, Mirai is dispatched to do the murder on the Akihito, and it gets very emotional in a very grayscale sequence, and then she takes her glasses off to, I guess, give herself clarity, or similar, but also symbolically to take away the thing that connects the two of them, sort of, right? So she puts those to the side, and she goes in for the stab, and I'm going to assume that she misses, because she doesn't have her glasses on and can't see him properly. I'm going to solidly guess that she does not murder Akihito in this moment, though she may try. That's where we left off. We left off with the cliffhanger of her blade being like half a centimeter away from his chest, and that's our cliffhanger. Moving into the next episode, what's going to happen? I don't know. I have zero clue. Let's watch the episode and find out. Okay, I've got episode 10 of Kyoukai no Kanata up and ready to go. I can see the title of the episode. It is titled White World, which I think lines up with the sort of grayscale things that we've been seeing around Mirai. If it means something different, then we'll find that out as we go along. But it is titled White World, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to be picking up right where we left off with that cliffhanger, or if we're going to skippy-dippy-doo around and maybe circle back to it by the end of the episode or something like that. No idea. Let's watch the episode and find out. Two versions of this reaction video. There will be a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description. Timer-based version will be up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right now. Are we packing to go? Is that Mirai's? It's Mirai's. Okay. Who's calling? Wonder if it's Akihito. Ah, this is before. Ooh, angle. Got it. So this ties into the opening sequence. But this is her arrival, not her leaving. Fully ties into the opening sequence. Are we going to cut right there? Hey, that's smart. That's pretty smart. Okay. So I thought this opening implied her leaving and then coming back, but it's the opposite. So it's her arriving and he is waiting for her? I guess that would work. And there's the visual separation that she's in a completely different place. Big Cloud. Creepy, but oh, you are in the hospital. Oh, she's here. Cool, cool. What happened? That's a fun way of getting us to ask what happened. Yep. Oh, okay, that's very cute. You win. Moe moe kyun. That feels moderately untrue. She's hiding her face. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that looks very weird. That is not omuraisu. Oh my. Oh, no, you gotta chop the carrots a lot finer. Yeah, where's the omu? Where? Oh, okay. That actually makes sense. What the fuck? No. Very Godfather. Guilt. Also that. Mm-hmm. Tell me what. How long have you been out? Okay, not that long. Hi, Spider. Spider implies Izumi? Okay, this is winter, so that's when she arrived? What? Wait. Wait, is this inside the barrier? This is inside the barrier. That's him. Frozen in here. This is an empty place. This is summer. That's winter. Got it. Okay. We're time fucked. And we're space fucked. We're fully realm fucked. Hello, Stone. Is that Stone him? Oh my god. Mm. Mm. What? Oh, okay. You're just fucking with him, but you're also not. Okay. You are terribly cruel, Mitsuki. You sure? Flick, pow. Ow. True. I wonder what she means by that. Feels like she means something more than what she means by that. Is Hiromi over? Yep, okay. She's fully sunburned except for the... Okay. Because you're in frozen land and he's not real. Ah! He's a zomboid. What the fuck? That ain't gonna work. Welcome to the white world. Okay. Aw. Aw. Ooh, guilt. What? Because he loves you? You're really cute and stuff? Oh no. Oh no. No, mm-mm. Oh, Jesus. No, not at all. Wow. Alright, we're focusing a lot on time passing. I'm sorry, what? Okay. Okay. That's odd. The truth. Was within you, and it has been sealed. Got it. No, he's immortal. Oh, okay, this is that moment, though. Yeah. You took him within? Okay. And the cost was... Oh. Ha! Okay. Alright. How do we fix that? Oh, Jesus. You're afraid that this will end when the night comes. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Lovely. Tragic. So, we are now in Haruhi Land. We gotta go find God. aka Kuriyama. Okay. It is fall. Oh, Jesus, we are fully jumping around. Hi, Mirai. Original Mirai arriving at original town originally. Hello, Nase. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Miserable looking. Why are we perving on our legs? Cool. Hmm. But during a lull. Convenient. Mm-hmm. So a lot of her self-hatred comes from her mission. Got it. Probably. Sure. Are those the bonsai? No, okay. Oh, those are her bonsai. Yeah, okay. Mitsuki. Yep, but you'll have to get close to him first. Can you do it? There's a dramatic lack of music throughout this episode. Very smart. Right, so her initial attempt to kill him, big failure. This really hurts. Please take it out. Yeah. Got it. It's my mission. It's my mission. Got it. Not so different, you and I. Because it's true? Because it's true. So the plan toward the lull. Which gives her a chance to fall in love with him, which is a bit of a problem, but okay. Sure. Yeah, what a contradictory thing. Observe him for a while, but keep your distance? Good luck. Ah. Getting included, and that's why we had that scene, so we now recontextualize it, and it means a lot more. You did. Trying desperately to keep distance, failing miserably to keep distance. You fucking idiot. No, he's permanently alone. Yeah. Hugging it out. You did. Whoops. No, she's in love with the person she has to murder. Yep. Hmm. Ah, the festival. Ah, the meeting. Good. Still betray yourself by calling him senpai, though. Yar. So Izumi comes up with a different way. Or a way to force it. Hmm. Yep. We knew that happened. Then. Yep. Okay. And then we kill it. Which is false. Right? I assume that that's false. They will. And they do. Okay. And so a lot of what you were doing was cover. No. And your entire body. So you must sacrifice yourself entirely, and that will work, but it won't. Hmm. So effectively, you give up all of yourself to him. It's interesting. Yeah, she'll do it. Boom. It's true. True enough. But star-crossed. Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Zamamiro. Okay. Ah, glasses. All right. So your winter world is ending. Ah, so you're still on mission to defeat that and hopefully bring something back. Jesus Christ, an entire episode of nothing but exposition. That's wow, that actually worked. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things make a lot more sense. Nope. Okay. Right? Yeah, okay, cool. Interesting. This definitely improves my opinion of the show as a whole. Definitely quite interesting, but also quite strange. So this is all dream logic time? I assume so. Okay, cool. And then it all fades away as this place fades away and the dream fades away. So part of it is that this is her representation mentally of Mitsuki, and so okay, that makes sense. Cool. Let me look up the staff. Oh, it's Takemoto. It's Yasuhiro Takemoto, and I think that shows. The episode is interesting at worst. It's at the very least interesting and throws around some intriguing ideas. I'm going to skim through it and wrap my head around it. I'm going to skim through it at double speed. I'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. So there are two halves of him. One of them is stuck in summer and the other is stuck in winter. Okay. I want to focus on this set of sequences here near the end of the episode where we recontextualize a bunch of moments with this line. You'd be better off keeping your distance from Akihito-kun. And then all of these moments where we had, this sequence where she's let in and pulled against her will into Akihito's circle. Here and here and here and here and here, recontextualizing all of these moments. I think this is really compelling. I think this is quite powerful and quite good. Does it save the show? It gets halfway there. Unfortunately, there just isn't. There are two things going on. One is we find out the reasons to care about a bunch of these sequences and a bunch of these things after those things have already happened. So it's like, here's the thing that you're supposed to care about. Then later we find out why you care about it. And this has kind of been going on throughout the show, and I don't know if it works. It's an attempt to structurally create a sense of like mystery and intrigue, and on one level it works, and it also kind of doesn't. It just feels kind of emotionally empty at the same time, even when it's the most emotional stuff. Like, this recontextualizes her choice to jump him and hug him there, and that's really cool, but I don't know if it works for me. Getting to see some of these sequences and fleshing out Izumi as this puppet string puller is very interesting and very cool. I just don't know if it clicks with me, I think that this narrative choice is really intriguing. It's really interesting, and they are both now, they're under this grand thing that's like a gigantic floating planet up there. I guess it's the boundary, and I would assume that it has to do with a lot of the reflections that we see in the OP and stuff like that, how things look different from different perspectives. And all of that coming together makes a lot of sense because there are two majorly different perspectives on everything we've had in the show so far. The majority of our point of view has been from Akihito's POV, and it's only here once he's passed out that we really get Mirai's POV and understand what she's been going through the whole time. And that feels like, on paper, it should be really powerful, and it's interesting, but it's not emotionally resonant. Not with me, at least. It's interesting from a storytelling perspective, like, ooh, that's a neat idea for how to tell your story, but there's a difference between feeling intellectually like this story is neat and being sucked into it and feeling like it's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking and I'm like, that's a cool idea. If only it were executed upon differently, maybe I would like it better. But I don't know what would be the reason for that. A lot of it comes from, like, we explain away all those previous scenes with this sort of weak character motivation from Mirai that's like, I'm an outcast, I'm ostracized. Now we come to understand that a lot of her character motivation came from being a liar, being a spy, being a plant, a sleeper agent of a sort, and knowing it. So her reluctance to engage with Akihito gains this whole additional layer, but it gains it so far after the fact of the scenes when it happened that those scenes don't change that much. The only thing that leans into that is, again, this sequence where we backtrack through a bunch of those scenes and with the new context, and this works, but I can't shake the feeling that it would perhaps work better if it happened in those episodes. Like, I don't know how much it ruins the structure of the story if this mystery is not mysterious from the outset. Like, how different and how strange is this story if we know that Mirai is here to kill Akihito from the beginning? I don't think it changes that much. I think it just makes a more interesting story between these two star-crossed lovers who we know are star-crossed, right? Like, we know that Romeo and Juliet come from two families that will never get along when we start off. I don't know if it hurts us, if it hurts the way the story is presented to have that element of Mirai at the start. I guess it does. I guess it does. I guess we don't buy into a lot of the Moe stuff. But on the same token, seeing her grow from, like, my goal is to assassinate this character into someone who's not doing that makes a lot of sense. And then it lines up with the sequences around meeting Sakura and the things that Mirai says to Sakura about, like, not seeking vengeance. Those all track more if we have that information about Mirai. It works that we recontextualize it later here at the end. It works, but there's this layer of, like, mental effort to go back through the show in my brain and attach Mirai's actual motivations onto the lie motivations, the falsified motivations that we got throughout it. It's interesting. It's interesting. It does tell us, like, why is she attacking Akihito, and that makes sense. But then I think this scene is maybe the most powerful thing because it tells us where the turning point was. The turning point was right here where he says thing that he says, "Why don't you quit being a spirit hunter? I would have done so a long time ago. Cursed blood is anything but normal." And then he says that yeah, the same goes for me. Cursed power that I didn't ask for and don't want attached to me. Can't help it. This is like the turning point for her character, realizing that he's kind of cool. It's interesting. And all of this leads to a deep and complete self-sacrifice of her, which I think we're probably going to renege on completely because Akihito has power. And we'll probably be able to undo that, I would expect. Kind of fully expect a pretty happy ending here. I don't think either Mirai or Akihito go bye-bye completely, because that doesn't feel KyoAni to me. It doesn't feel like the story we're building here. Hmm. I definitely think that the direction and the way this episode is structured is as strong as it could be for a we're going to change everything you know about the entire world sort of episode. There's a palpable feeling of wrongness once we enter here, and something is weird with the omurice and the pig in the fridge and all of that stuff. It's not entirely clear why there are other people here in the summer sequences, but then there aren't later. I guess it's because everything's fading away and we're watching time tick away and all of these elements fall apart. So Mirai is currently simultaneously existing in summer and winter, and in the summer section, that's the stone that is Akihito, right? I assume. So he's still trapped here. Cool. And then all of this comes from a combinatorial, like, set of memories and understandings of other characters. So the way that we frame and the way that we gazeify on Mitsuki, but then she's wearing glasses, and there's this whole conflict between her and Mirai sort of makes sense there, I guess. There are also little funny things like Hiroumi being there with the little what do you call those in a submarine? I forget what they're called. Periscope. Very fun. But yeah, there's a lot of time fuckery going on, and we get the impression that there's something wrong and time fucked here. And I think that's pretty neat. The moment of realizing that we're time fucked and that this place isn't real is cool and powerful and interesting. Using that to reveal all of the things about all of the story before this, I don't know if it works super well. It brings everything together in a way that I can't hate, and I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. This is interesting. I will say that over the course of this episode, there is a ton of really good framing and storyboarding and direction, which I think is credit to. I just looked up the name, but now I forgot it. It was Yasuhiro Takemoto on storyboard and episode direction. I think that is credit where credit is due. There's a lot of really good framing. Like in the opening sequence, there's this shot with the big old angle here and Mirai crushed into a corner. This idea that her life is empty regardless, except for the suitcase, is kind of cool. And then we get some other scenes that feel similarly dark and difficult. This whole sequence where Mirai is off and framed away, walled off from Akihito, is again very similar to the scene where she's at the train tracks and we see walls there, or the sequence in I think episode 1 or episode 2, where there's a wall between them. I guess there is some good visual storytelling going on throughout the earlier episodes around creating barriers between, or boundaries perhaps, between Akihito and Mirai, but we're given an effective, if not great, like the whole Mirai comes from a clan and feels real bad and doesn't feel like she can have friends and stuff, we're given an effective, if not amazing, reason why those visual things are there, so we're not made to think anything else of them, but they are there, so credit where credit is due. This is weird. I find this episode compelling. I do have problems with it. Mostly just structural problems with the entirety of the show, and less problems with this episode in particular. I think that within the bounds of what this episode needs to do, because of the way that the entire story has been structured, this episode does all of its things fairly admirably. But my gripe is then with the overall structure of the show and why it was chosen to be done this way. It feels weird. It doesn't feel super good. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It is kind of a neat circumstance. And the slow pull into, wait a second, this is very much dream world, this is very freaky deaky, is very cool. It's neat and effective and engaging and compelling and all these words that I can throw at it. Little scenes like his reflection in her glasses are poignant and useful, and little flashes of their moe banter that sort of intrude on the seriousness of the situation are pretty neat. And then the reveal that she has sacrificed herself and made herself entirely overtaken by the shadow itself. Very interesting. We find ourselves in this field of dying sunflowers, and then there's this shot, which is the two of them together, right? It's symbolic and very neat, and we even match cut to it, and that's cute. Very cute little moments. Until we awaken and discover that it is no more, and then reveal a bunch of the past stuff. There is no fuckboy McDick Balls in this episode. I am wondering what fuckboy McDick Balls is up to right now and how that will play into literally anything. Don't know. No idea. But very interesting. Getting the full explanation that confirms a lot of what we knew about Izumi Nase is pretty neat. Wants you to kill him and live on. But we get our sort of gifts of the Magi situation where each character wants to sacrifice themselves for the other, which I think is a powerful storytelling trope. This is a strange episode. It has done a lot to improve my perspective on the previous episode. A lot of things sort of line up in ways that they didn't. So that's cool. Highlight of the episode is probably awakening Mirai with like bedhead and cuteness. is ultra cute, right? Where is that? Yeah, summer. This shot is ultra cute. It's just very cute. Good job. And then some interesting shots over the course of the episode. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of focus on light and shadow, season and seasonal indicators, rain and weather. Outside forces that that are externalizations of our characters' internal worlds during each of their scenes in a lot of ways. Cold, warm, rainy, somber, sad. Those work. Those work really well. This episode works. I'll give it yeah, that's acceptable. Okay. I see what we're doing with this story now. I didn't see it at all before. And I don't know if that's the best decision, but it works okay. So I guess I don't really have any problems with it. Good job, KyoAni. Good job, Kyoukai no Kanata. I wish there was more. I wish there was more. I wish that we'd had more time to investigate the emotional content here instead of investigating it but not doing so because we have to toe this weird line over the course of the entire season between demonstrating legitimate emotions from Mirai that are sourced from this circumstance and actually doing enough that it tips off the audience that this is the big reveal. We had to toe that line and balance that act. And so I feel like Mirai wasn't allowed to have real character over the growing course of this episode, this whole season. She wasn't allowed to have real character because every time she had to justify her actions in the way that she was trying to stay away from Akihito, she had to lie about it. And that means that our previous interpretations of why Mirai was the way that she was, while we were able to make sense of them because she eventually made sensible lies, they don't really make a lot of sense. And our previous interpretation of Mirai is like she's kind of a moe blob who's kind of useless and is very cute, but we're sitting there just being like, no, you don't have to act like you're different from everybody else because we don't have that extra layer of she's acting like she's separate from everybody else because she's on a mission to kill one of them, and that's fucking with her. It's pretty interesting. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if I like the withholding this information until the end of the show situation. And I feel like that is pretty clearly what people were indicating, which I talked about at the beginning of this video, where some of this stuff and some of the way things are directed will make more sense later. And it does, but does it making sense forgive it being a weaker story than it might otherwise be? I don't know. I think that's up to the viewer. I think for me, no, not really. I'm intrigued by where it's going to go from here. I'm intrigued by what Mirai's new mission is as she's setting off toward the boundary, I guess, and what is going to happen in the end here, and whether it's going to end up happily or with a self-sacrifice or multiple sacrifices. But overall, I'm kind of 50-50 on this episode. It's okay. There are parts of it that are definitely very good. But my gripe is really with the overall structure of the story. I don't love it. Okay, that's it. I don't love it. I don't hate it either. That's my takeaway. Okay, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Kyoukai no Kanata, episode 10. Episode 10. I hope you've enjoyed it as much or more than I have. Next week, we're going to watch episode 11 and maybe get cliffhanged into episode 12. I could see that happening. Hope to see you there. Peace.